We've got a lot to talk about in this video, as we have some crazy loot pool changes to talk about for FNCS tomorrow, as well as going over the second Duos Cash Cup of the season, which saw some insane records being broken in both the finals and the opens of both EU and NA. And we also saw Tayson win the Duos Cash Cup on NA this week, and we'll talk about more of that in a minute. But first, I want to go over the changes that were made to the loot pool for competitive in this morning's update. And in this update, the boom bolt was actually removed from competitive entirely, even the mythic version, which you get from the Nitro Drome. And this has a lot of comp players rejoicing, as the boom bolt has been absolutely terrorizing Cash Cup finals all season long so far in the first two Cash Cups. So this season's going to play out pretty interesting now, since the Nitro Drome now has no mythic weapon at all, and it just has the infinite ammo medallion. So we're going to have to see how that plays out in FNCS this weekend and see if that really changes anything within the game. And also in this update, EMP grenades are back inside of competitive once again. And the only other things to note in this update are that Nitro Fists are still out of competitive heading into FNCS. So the meta for FNCS is about to be a very interesting one, with only Nitro and no Nitro Fist. And based on what I watched in the Cash Cup the last 2 days, the Nitro only meta is definitely way worse than having Fist in the game. But sadly, there's a game-breaking bug with the Fist that really needs to be changed before they come back. And then also in this update, the Metallica guitar, which is part of the update inside of pubs, is not going to be in comp as well. So overall in this update, we have EMP grenades being in, the boom bolt being out, even the mythic version, Nitro Fist still being out, and the Metallica guitar not being in comp with this update. So let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on this update, and also your thoughts on not having Fist in FNCS this weekend most likely. So it's definitely going to be a very interesting weekend ahead of us with FNCS, with the Nitro only meta and no Fist for sure. But let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on the couple of changes made in this update. But now let's move into the Duo Cash Cup recap, and we got some record-breaking performances to talk about. On EU, Chapentini dropped an unimaginable 28 elimination win, which is the world record, and on EU is just absolutely unheard of. 28 eliminations is insane, and they were literally just running through the lobby the entire match. And Chapentini actually ended up getting their second straight Cash Cup win of the season, and are 100% the clear favorites to keep dominating EU and win FNCS Grand Finals this season as of right now. And right now, it's looking like Chapentini might go on a little bit of a Peterbot and Pollo run from last season and just completely dominate the region going forward. But one thing to note is that Chapentini actually do land the Nitro Drome, and they did have the Mythic Boom Bolt for the first two tournaments, but now they're going to have to play without that Mythic Boom Bolt and that ability to just instantly get hype whenever you want and then keep it for as long as you want. So we're going to have to see how Chapentini adapt to that weapon being out of the game now. But nonetheless, a 28 elimination game in a finals is absolutely insane, and something we'll probably never see done again, especially on EU. And that's not it for the absolutely insanely high kill games. In the opens on NA, Peterbot and Pollo dropped an insane 55 elimination win, which is also a world record for opens. And the crazy thing is, Peterbot and Pollo actually did not qualify after doing this. In their last 7 games of the tournament, they only got 38 points, which ended up being nowhere near enough points to qualify to the finals. But regardless of not qualifying, Peterbot and Pollo breaking yet another record with this insane 55 elimination win is quite wild. And then other than Peter, the other notable team to not qualify to the finals were Alex and Worthy, who sadly did not qualify to their first NA Duo Cash Cup finals. But every single EU player that moved to NA actually did qualify to the finals. All 10 EU players that have moved from EU to NA for this season all qualified to the second Duo Cash Cup finals of the season. Some had some pretty good performances, and also some did have some underwhelming performances as well. And the most notable placement of the day is Tayson and Niamzo getting the win in the Duo Cash Cup finals. And they did so by having a super consistent day, with not having a single game worse than the top 10, and their worst placement of the day being in 8th place. So overall, Tayson and Niamzo with an insanely consistent day and getting first place in the NA Duos Cash Cup on 387 points. Tayson and Niamzo had a very rough week last week, getting 18th place in the Cash Cup finals, but in scrims this week, you could definitely tell that they were looking a lot better. So this second place doesn't surprise me at all. Then in second place, we have Muzz and Trashy on 306 points. Muzz and Trashy sadly went down early in the last game when they did have a chance to potentially win the tournament, and they were taken out by Clix and Vino, who weren't really having the best day. So good to see Muzz and Trashy, another new duo, in second place, but sucks to see that they didn't really get the potential to win. Then in third place, we have Acorn and Cold on 301 points and only 5 matches played, and a couple other teams only had 5 matches played as well, whether that was due to a bug when they were queuing or their teammate wasn't on. So Acorn and Cold only got to play 5 matches, but in those 5 matches played very, very well, especially since one of those matches they got cleaned up off spawn as well. So basically a third place with only 4 matches played for Acorn and Cold this week. And in their last 2 games, they got a 14 elimination first and a 15 elimination third, and finished with 39 total eliminations in the tournament. So Acorn and Cold are looking very, very scary this season, landing at a mythic drop spot at the Brutal Beachhead. And then next in fourth place, we have Skittles and Kanata on 288 points. And once again, Skittles and Kanata do pretty well in the Cash Cup. They win 2 games this week. And no, Skittles and Kanata are not duoing this season once again. Cooper and Kanata will be playing FNCS. Cooper couldn't make this Cash Cup as well, just like last week. But another good performance out of Skittles and Kanata. And now it's going to be very interesting to see who Skittles ends up playing FNCS with this season, as he doesn't have a duo as of now. And then lastly, rounding out the top 5, once again on an A, we have Kylie and Vert on 261 points, getting 5th place for back-to-back weeks. Kylie and Vert are definitely looking like the most consistent cross-region team on an A as of right now, but I'll give Tayson and Iamzo the slight edge on saying they're a little bit better than Kylie and Vert, since they won this Cash Cup and look very, very good. And then taking a look at all the EU players' placements on an A this week, we have Tayson and Iamzo in 1st place, Kylie and Vert in 5th place, Paco and Vorteca in 14th place, Mongrel and Mr. Savage in 15th place in just 5 games. A very, very good showing out of Mongrel and Mr. Savage this week. And they actually surprised me with how well they actually played in the end games. Yapko and Kwani ended up placing 16th. Bino and Clix with another very, very underwhelming performance, getting 20th place. I really don't know what's happening with this duo. They really got to get together this mid game, because right now their mid game looks very, very bad. And somehow they look worse than Epic Will and Clix looked last season. And I thought Epic Will and Clix looked pretty mid last season, but somehow Bino and Clix are doing even worse than that, when I expected them to be at worst as good as Epic Will and Clix were last season. I honestly didn't know that could be replicated. And then we also have Pink and Marrow in 22nd place and only 4 games played, due to Marrow not playing the first game since he was late. And then also Marrow crashed in the second game, so they basically didn't even play that game as well. So Pink and Marrow with a pretty rough start to being a duo as well. And then Blaha and Mixon get 34th place in their first Cash Cup finals on an A as well, as they were triple contested in this tournament. So a rough start for Blaha and Mixon on an A as well. Overall, I want you guys to comment down below which EU team or EU and NA cross region team are surprising you in either a good or bad way so far this season. Which of these duos is underperforming or overperforming your expectations so far? To me, I think the biggest overperformer is Kylie and Vert, and then I think the biggest underperformer is obviously Vino and Clix as well. Still a lot of tournaments left in the season, but FNCS week 1 is already here, and there's only 2 FNCS weeks just like the past 2 majors, so you don't really have a lot of time to fix mistakes, as we are jumping right into FNCS this season. But this season's been filled with content so far, even with the pretty underwhelming meta and pretty hectic meta we have. And as always, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to always be caught up on everything happening within Fortnite competitive, and to never miss a tournament recap just like this, and to always be caught up to date on loot pool changes like I mentioned in this video as well. And if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like on it, as it would help it get pushed out to more people. That's going to do it for me in this video, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.